Sayulita Wellness, home of your inner peace.
Hi there, I'm Kaylee, and I'm back with another wonderful interview of our retreat alumni. I'm here today with Kristen, who is going to share a little bit about her story. So, welcome, Kristen. How are you today?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
My
So
pleasure.
happy to be here.
You're fresh off the retreat, so I'm so excited to kind of dig in. So, first question really is, why did you come to the retreat? Could you let us know a little bit more about, what drew you to the retreat?
Yeah, so okay, that's going to be a long answer, but I'm going to try to shorten it up for you. So, I am a holistic nutritionist. I work to really figure out the root of everyone's problems and help them heal. And along my way, I learned that it was truly my trauma that brought me to my autoimmune disease in the first place. And so I've always been very curious about the mental, emotional aspect of disease. So probably the end of July, I started to feel bad again, like emotionally not feeling good enough. Like I'm not a depressed person, and I felt depression for the first time since I actually first got diagnosed. So long story short, I ended up getting labs drawn, and my thyroid was as bad as it was when I first was diagnosed. So I just hit this super low point, like very depressed, very overwhelmed, feeling unworthy of my job. Like, who am I to help other people heal when I can't heal myself? And so that by that afternoon, I found the retreat and I had booked it because I was like, if my emotions are messing with my thyroid, I've got to stop because life is going to happen. It's how we deal with it that matters. And so I told my doctor, she added a little extra thyroid hormone, but we also switched me. So I was on something called Armored Thyroid, switched to MP because it was cheaper. And then I was like, well, I want to go back to the old stuff. So the Friday before I left for the retreat, it turns out that it wasn't my emotions or anything that caused my thyroid. It was truly that I was on the wrong thyroid medicine. But to me, that was totally like the universe, God, whatever, for me to be set up for this perfect situation for me to find the retreat. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. And then once I went, I truly found that I wasn't as free as I thought I was. And now, just this new awareness of the experience I had there has set me free more than I could have ever asked for or even knew I needed.
That's
So
so
I truly, yeah, I truly believe that this is for everybody. Like, it doesn't matter where you are in life. It can be anything and for everyone.
That's so well said. And I think like, that quote we all hear on our healing journeys, but like the wound is the place where the light enters you, right? So it's like those wounded areas are what helps bring us kind of realign us with our best path, our highest path, and also helps us understand the areas, like you said, where we're not free, like where we're kind of still not seeing the reality correctly, like needing to change our perception and open our hearts more and see where we can improve our own lives. Actually, we think we're doing great, but then there's actually more we can do.
Exactly. And had I not had that thyroid experience happen for me and not to me, I never would have found the beautiful retreat that I was able to find. And I even have people telling me, well, why didn't you tell me you were going? I would have gone with you. But I just didn't know, like it was happened so organically. I didn't think about anybody else. And I wish I would have now. Could have brought a whole gang of us.
Well, you're clearly such a light bringer. Like it was when Kristen got back from the retreat, she was already telling me, how can I help share this with as many people as possible? And I just think that's a testament to you as a person and just like your heart and wanting to help people. And so obviously that's clear in the work you do. So, so it sounds like you got a lot from the experience. So my next question is, what did you gain from the experience? Can you talk a little bit about like what you received from it?
Yeah, it was wild. So you meet with a psychotherapist and she kind of helps you like lay out the vision you want. And I loved that. I saw a lot of things on the internet where I didn't feel like it was supportive. I've never done anything like this before. I don't want to just go in the woods somewhere. I want to have love, support, make sure it's a good experience. And so I kind of wrote out like I wanted to find more about my purpose. I wanted to find out about more. I believe in God, and it's okay if you don't, but I wanted to sort of know about God's purpose for me. Like I could have gotten to the holistic nutrition route a completely different way. Why did I suffer? Why did I have trauma have to kind of push me towards this journey? Like what were the reasons? And then, like just kind of understanding my path, like where I'm at now, but where am I going to go sort of thing. And then my dad passed away in May. And I was very curious about like, that whole situation. Like, how do I kind of get more peace with that too? So I wrote his name down, but briefly. And then, yeah, I took all that. We did the whole like ceremony before you you take the mushrooms. And then it was like, I laid down and it was like, you go through like the weird, the weird fuzzy part of it at the very beginning where I was like, this is it. Oh my gosh. And then like 20 minutes in, it's like all these beautiful emotions. And it's like, you go so much more inward. It's like, you're able to figure out this mystery puzzle of your life in like 4 hours. When I came back, I was like, I feel like I got 40 years of therapy in 4 or 5 hours. Like it's where awareness is one thing. Like we all have awareness to a degree. Like I know life is always happening for me. I'm very positive in that sense, but it's actually, I saw that I had to have the path that I had to have the empathy, the sympathy, the love, and the support that I have that I wouldn't have gotten to had I not suffered and had I not experienced the human experience and didn't just read it in a book. And it's like I saw that I felt everyone's pain and I saw that we were all layered in pain, and that's what's keeping us from the authentic, beautiful self we are, which working with hundreds of people to build their bodies, sometimes I tell them what to do and they're the only ones that hold them back. But I think that it's this emotional piece and the layers of their pain and the lack of love and belief in themselves that actually holds them back. And so to see that and know it, it was like, and then it was so clear I was supposed to be a gift. Supposed to be a gift to others. Yes, to heal their bodies with all the stuff I do, but now I can add that deep emotional piece into my practice to offer them a retreat like this to completely set them free. I saw my dad, I saw his pain, then I felt his freedom and love. And it was like, I don't really have to grieve now. Now I just feel happy about thinking about him. I saw my son, which is crazy because he has some emotional issues. It's hard to calm him down. And it's like I saw him and it made me sad because I saw his pain. But then I saw it was like spending like an hour with him in my journey. I set him free. I saw him be set free. And I saw myself handling his emotions in a completely different way than I had been doing. So it was like a lesson. It's really crazy. And I have two boys, but I never saw the other one. I just saw my oldest one. So it was like, yes, I asked to see stuff, but I also got a lot more than I thought I could.
Kristen, I was like drawn to tears, like just when you were saying the part of like, you have to walk that warrior's path of like feeling the pain yourself, feeling lost, feeling down. You're a positive person, but I'm sure you've had times in your journey where you say, why me? Why is this happening to me? Other people get to go around with their perfect health their whole lives. Like, why am I suffering so early? And I relate very much to those feelings. That's why I was feeling emotional and getting full body chills. But through it, I've gained so much compassion for other people. Like your heart is so much more open to love, and you can understand the pain they're in. You might not have had the same circumstances or story, but you know a similar feeling of loss or pain or suffering. And now you've made your way through it, right? So you can be that light bringer and help be a guide for others. So I love that you're able now to strengthen your work and your private practice through the emotional awareness and also applying to your personal life. Seeing your dad is so beautiful to see that level of like freedom he has now. There's so many people who come to the retreats for grief and for loss and to understand it. And so I think your story can give some hope there and understanding. So
yeah. And I just think people really truly don't know that they can have freedom. Like they think it's just the way it is. And I think you really have to have this open mind. Even when people come find me. I've not done a lot of advertising for my practice. Again, I truly believe it's like it comes to you if it's supposed to be to you. And I'll have, really sad, down people that come to me and they trust so much within me, but they also forget that they can do it. And they forget that they have this glimmer of light and beautiful journey in themselves. But we forget, again, I feel like when I saw my experience, it was because we're so layered in pain. We've come so far from the true love that's within us. Like when we're born, we're an innocent child of God or, the universe. And then life keeps happening to us for us. And we go get further and further and further away from that. And we forget like how it's really here. And if we have that love, then we can truly do all things. Like, you don't have to suffer. You can have your freedom. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that you're coming for the loss or grief, or it could be because you just really want to understand your life and find more of your purpose. But that just means it's like this huge spectrum of people that can come and find that.
So it's so beautiful. I love that you said, like, we don't we all will go through things in life, but how we react to it and how we learn from it and grow from it is really what determines like the next part of our journey. So we can see ourselves as victims, or we can be empowered. And when I look at you, I see such an empowered woman who's chosen to take her destiny and her life into her own hands, and but also co-create with the universe and say, I'm looking for support. You're open to help. You want to work with experts, and I commend you for that. Every person I talk to on the phone who's interested in a retreat, I think it's so brave of them to get on that call and to say, like,
Yeah.
and to share what's going on in their heart, what's real for them, and to say, I need help, in this
Yeah.
whatever area it is. It's so brave. And I'm sure you feel that way with your clients too. Like, that's a huge step for someone who's depressed, who's anxious, who's feeling down, is just to take that step. So
Yeah. And it was like, again, I cried the whole time, but not everybody that was there cried. Like, one guy was dancing. One woman they thought was like asleep because she was just laying there so calm. So I just think we all get what we need. I think as a child, that's when my trauma happened, and I just shoved it, because you have to keep going on with life. You have to keep moving. But it was like the first time it was like, got out of me. It was like free. Again, I think that was why my freedom was so special, is because it was like, I cried for me, I cried for everybody else. I saw everybody's pain and why we are the way we are, and that we have to recognize that pain, stop shoving it down, and give yourself the opportunity to get rid of it, because then it makes my job easier, the nutrition, healing the gut, healing the mind, healing all that easier when you don't have this block sitting in front of you, keeping you stuck.
yeah, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I think our emotions really do create huge blockages within our energy field, and we are energetic beings, and it can create physical symptoms. Absolutely. The psychosomatic connection is so strong. So, and now you have like greater tools as a practitioner, which is amazing. And as a mother, it sounds like too.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
My sweet boy, I feel so much better about how to help him now. And again, that's right there would have been the greatest thing I could have got out of the whole experience. Because as a mother, we all know we want to do our children right and help them navigate through this crazy world we live in right now.
Yeah, a lot of parents come to us and their children are having behavioral issues, and it's part of, their intentions for the retreat. I recently interviewed another couple who had attended, and they said as well, they got such great insight into their son and how to support him better. And they're like, we just need to love him and accept him and nourish him and not try to change him or fix him in these bigger ways. And that was, it sounds like basic, but to feel it and understand it and see it like you saw your son and how to help him, it's huge. So
Different.
yeah.
So different. Yeah. Again, we have the awareness piece, and then we have like the full understanding, no questions asked, because I see it, I felt it, I get it.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lived experience. It's like someone who can meditate for 20 years, do therapy, like you said, for 20 years. But when you go through this 4 to 6 hour experience, like you said, it feels like 40 years of therapy, because you understand the puzzle of your life.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I'm good. I won't need to come back. But then I was like, wait a minute, maybe in a couple of years I need to come back, and just keep that door open, because life is going to keep happening. But I do feel like if I feel like I got so much out of it, like I'm finally set. I've got this like new footing, new peace. Even my husband's like, I said, do you want to go? I asked my husband if he want to go. He's like, no, if you're happy, I'm happy. Like, we're going to be happier as a family together. And I'm just also reminded that because I run my practice, it is also really important. I saw that, to just spend more time with my boys that are little right now. And it like made me see, like, yeah, maybe the other reason is that I just need to be more present too with other people in my life, not just with other, like my clients and my work, just spread it out.
Yeah.
And, again, I kind of felt that, but when you see it, it's like so much different.
Absolutely. So what would you say was like the best part of the retreat for you?
Well, the actual ceremony by far. Yeah. I mean, I loved the work up to it. You guys fed us the right way before. You fed us the right way after, um, all the different, like the sound therapy, the yoga, all the stuff we did to work yourself up, the meditation or the hypnotherapy, all that like worked you into it. But just the real thing was like,
Ceremony.
that was it. The ceremony was for sure.
I completely agree. It's like it all nourishes you. You feel like you're in this loving, safe cocoon, and then you're like, let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They didn't just like throw us to the wolves right when we got there. Like you got to get over your jet lag a little. You got to kind of get to know everyone there with you, which everyone was so nice. The staff was amazing, but then the people that were there amazing. And like I was with a couple from New Zealand. Like obviously this place attracts a lot of really great people because it just offers, I think you and I talked about it on the phone when I was booking it, such a comprehensive program, a comprehensive retreat, and you could do more. You could have gone on the beach more and gone to the gym, but I just was like, I'm just going to be here and just soak it up.
Yeah, it's an inner journey, but having the beauty of the environments and all the luxury amenities is always so nice. But like I told you, I've worked in retreats for the last 15 years and I've been to so many centers. I've hosted retreats. This program is so special. And I love that people like you and our guests recognize it. Like it's just so comprehensive. It's treating the mind, body, soul. And we need to address all the layers of a person to create healing. Otherwise, we're missing out on profound areas. And preparing someone correctly before a ceremony is so key. Otherwise, you don't feel quite safe enough to go to those deeper emotional places. So, and that's a big part of it is kind of like softening someone up, helping them feel more vulnerable and feel ready for that.
And the beautiful woman that was in there with me, whenever I was like crying a lot, I uncovered my mask and I said, I know why you do this. I was like, you see people become free right before your eyes. She was like, yeah, that's why we do it. That's why she can do it. Because to sit with somebody for 5 hours, that's a long time, but they just get to go through the journey with us and then they get to see us be set free.
Yeah.
Like that to me is like huge.
They see people come in, they see the potential of light within them, they see, all the good, but then by the end, everybody looks like they're 10 years younger. Like they're so happy from within. Like I like to say, like everybody's like a flashlight, like we all shine, but some people forget to put in their batteries,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you get charged up, you got your batteries. So
Exactly. I got my battery. I feel like now it's the beginning.
yeah. And Kristen, what kept you from doing this sooner? It sounds like once you decided you need it, you did book right away, but was there anything else that kept you from doing it sooner?
I think, well, what I heard about like psilocybin and all that is that it's really for like the very, very stressed. Like you went to war and you come back and you can't deal with life. And I was like, well, that's not me. But then I listened to an interview with another holistic nutritionist. I'm in South Carolina and she was in LA and she talked about how she had loss and all this. And then she went and did psilocybin and then just found that piece that she needed. And I was like, well, maybe I'm thinking that I need it for a different reason than I really do. Like maybe it is just to understand your purpose and the underlaying of yourself to make your life make a little bit more sense. So then that's really what struck me to it. The way she interviewed was like, wow, okay, maybe this is for me. Maybe this is for everybody. It doesn't have to be like you have this massive thing. It could just be like this wanting to go more into yourself. And I guess I never really thought that I needed it until I heard that. I was like, maybe, yeah, I do need it. We all need it.
We all need this. We all need this and probably multiple times in our lives. We all need it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. And that's why I was saying, like, maybe in another few years, I'll come back and do it again, like just to make sure, I'm really taking the time to go within myself because I've always said, even when I was at my sickest, and I'd be praying to God, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? Like, just give me the answer, stick it in front of me, like stop me on my walk. And I would always say the answers are within you. Like I wouldn't force it. And I do believe we all have the answers within us. We just do not know how to access it.
Yeah.
And this gives you that ability.
It really does. I think it opens up new gifts within us that are always inherently within us, but we just we don't know how to listen. We don't know how to hear them. We don't know how to communicate to ourselves at that level. But I think it does activate a lot of gifts that are kind of lying dormant within us. And they begin to bloom in you over time. They might happen a week or two or a month after the retreat where you realize, wow, I can handle this better. I can see things differently. So I think that the mushrooms keep working on you in a very positive way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. Like I still feel amazing a week. Yeah, about a week after. I mean, I still feel great. I'm still having really awesome dreams where I'm like waking up and journaling about it. I'm still understanding. And one thing I saw is I feel like we're so in our conscious mind all the time, which is only 7% of our thinking. The rest is 93% is our subconscious mind, which is formed before you're the age of 7. So we're operating on memories and experiences as 7-year-olds and before. And so I feel like the experience in the ceremony, it's like it fused it. It allowed you to go within that conscious mind and break that barrier, that separation, to really give you like the change, the awareness, but then also like the ability to change that autopilot thinking.
Absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. Really well said. Yeah, a lot of times we are like just being driven by those subconscious thoughts. And that's why it's like nice to have the hypnotherapy the day before too, to be like, what's like who's in the driver's seat of my life right now? And then
Yeah.
coming back to the realization, like, okay, like it's me. But like I remember looking in the mirror after my ceremony and being like, I'm back. Like I'm back to who I am.
Who you've always supposed to been. It's just you lost it through the layers of your pain.
Yeah, absolutely. And times where you're like, oh, I can't believe I forgot again. I can't believe I forgot who I um
Yeah, yeah. And we all do.
absolutely. That's so fun. So okay, another question is why would you recommend attending this retreat to someone who's maybe on the fence and not sure if this is the right place for them?
I would say that you're stuck in your critical thinking. You're stuck in you're not free. You're not being free when you are trying to stop yourself from doing it. You're overthinking the experience and the outcome of it. And I think for me that when I just decided I was doing it, I was going to do it and I wasn't going to turn back. Because even on the way like to the airport, I'm like, do I need this? Am I doing? Well, that's your ego. Your ego is trying to protect you, constantly protecting you, telling you not to do something, telling you, but that's taking your freedom away. So I think if you're on the fence, you absolutely, that means that you need it more, and you need to get past that ego and that subconscious wiring to keep you safe, because we are safe and we are free and we've just forgotten it. So there's no reason to be on the fence. There's nothing in the journey that's going to hurt you. It's set up to make you have a great experience, in my opinion.
It's so beautiful.
You like lay it all out. It's perfect.
Thank you. And why did you choose our retreat over other options? Like what stood out to you about this one?
Well, a lot of them looked like you were kind of alone. You were like in the woods for some of them, or like in different parts that I didn't feel safe about. I liked that you had somebody that was going to sit with you. I liked that a doctor was going to check on you. I liked that the nirvana is with you, and this gift has been passed through generations to her. And it's just, like the just it just sounded more comprehensive and loving, and it may be more expensive than some of the ones out there, but again, you're going to pay for what you get, and I'm willing to pay the money to have a more safe exceptional experience, in my opinion. So yeah, nothing else really spoke to me except this one really spoke to me.
I'm so happy to hear it. I'm so glad you ended up coming to us and had that powerful experience. And I just feel so confident when I'm on the phone with people telling me about it. I'm like, no, this is so special. Like as someone who's experienced it, but also just get to hear stories like yours, Kristen, like it just is so impactful, like to see how this changes people's lives and then ripples out to change your children's lives, your husband's life, your clients' lives, like each person, it just sends ripples of positive energy out to everyone in their life as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, anybody that's on the fence, like they have you to speak with. It's just, especially with somebody that's experienced it, it's good to have them to help understand that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes it's your ego trying to keep you safe, but I think it keeps you stuck,
Yeah.
and it doesn't allow you to have that freedom that is accessible to you.
Yeah, going off that, this is a question I just thought to add in, but what would you say to someone who's signed up, they're at the retreat, it's the first day, but they're feeling so scared before the ceremony? Like, what would you say to them about that fear?
Release your like surrender your fear, surrender everything. Just do what you're just go there and do all the stuff they have set up for you. You know, like I think the first night I was super tired and I was like, I'm gonna skip dinner, I'm just gonna go to bed. Everyone was like, okay, have a good night. Like they let you kind of have your freedom, but it's not like I didn't do the yoga the next day, or I didn't do the sound stuff, and I didn't do all the beautiful things. It's like you're accepted for who you are and where you're at. And I liked that. Um, but yeah, I just think, yeah, I think people really stop themselves.
Yeah, you block yourself because lots of people are afraid to face the pain, but on the other side, like you said, is your freedom because you know your power, you know who you are again, and it really is, yeah, for everyone.
And you might not be somebody like me. You might not cry. You might be laughing the whole time. You might have like it's you just never know what you'll get. Like, and just being really open-minded and surrender to the possibility of finding something that you never thought you could before.
Absolutely. Yeah, everybody is so different in ceremony. I would say at least most people still, at least for the first hour or two, you are pretty still. I'll say like you're having your inward moment. And for me,
Mhm.
I'm someone who was still for like 9 hours. Like I was just like, but my
Yeah.
husband, he's like after a few hours, he wants to move and laugh, and other friends are wanting to go by the ocean. So everybody's a little different, but however you process it, and of course crying is completely normal. Everybody is going to cry at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I did laugh a little at certain moments.
Yes, me too.
And I don't know, I don't remember when it was, but yeah, the laughs were welcome, the crying was welcome. You know, again, I know, and because I saw and I felt people's pain, it makes me want to be even better at my job.
Mhm.
Um, to really, because I see that people have pain, but I also see they don't have to have it.
Absolutely. And I think even if someone has a tougher ceremony or it's very emotional, the next day you feel so good and you feel
Yeah.
so alive again that it's so worth it. It's like it makes you want to go do it again because you're like, oh, it got you the results you were looking for, you know?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I definitely plan on doing it again in the future. I feel good for a while now, for sure.
That's awesome. No, it's so good to have that time to integrate, enjoy your life, and just be fully present in it like you are doing. So,
Yeah.
is there anything else about the staff that stood out to you? I know you mentioned, the woman who was in the room with you and Nirvana, but anything else about the staff that really stood out to
Yeah,
you?
I mean, I remember a lot of them. Cece, especially, she was the one that was in the room with me, and she was just a gift. Like, she was a gift. It's hard to remember all their names, but everyone there, when I was there, was wonderful. They just loved on me. They made me feel good. They asked me for tea in the morning, and can I get you this? Can I get you that? Like, they truly just wanted to make you feel good because they've all experienced it. They see what a gift it is, so they just want to make sure you have everything you need. I actually skipped the horseback riding, which I heard it was amazing. I just was really tired from the ceremony before. And so I just allowed myself to just go to the beach, swim in the ocean, and just like take that moment to relax. And everyone's like, sure, yeah, do that. Do what you kind of innately need. So yeah, I wish I remembered everybody's names, but I'm bad with that. But they were all of them were great. The chef was wonderful. And I will say, as a nutritionist, knowing I'm getting organic food is everything to me. Again, like you pay for what you get. You
Yeah.
need to pay for good organic food.
Yeah.
As a nutritionist, I will throw that in there. It's not good. I think it's our food system and all the other things that have gotten us to this inability to regulate our emotions
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
it's just, having that full package, there.
Absolutely. So yeah, based on that, so was the experience worth the price for you for the retreat?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're going to pay more for organic, and that is very important for me. The course meal, like you're getting courses, you're not just, the dinners have like lots of courses to them, and they like wait on you and they take your plate and get you the next. And then I was able to say, I don't do grains or gluten. And every time they gave me my dish, I noticed that things that other people had, I didn't have. So they really followed my wishes to a T. I think they could easily access, like if you were a vegan or whatever you were, they could easily, use your dietary modifications to still make sure you got really yummy meals. And enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah, it's so nice too. Like, I feel like for an all-inclusive experience, it's like it takes the stress out of it, that like it's just everything and it's just such a full program, like we talked about. Sometimes there's almost so many activities you're like, yeah, maybe I'll relax on this one. So, but it's just like a nice menu of options, and from there you can choose. But yeah, the food is so good. We actually have multiple chefs who've attended our retreats, and they literally want to keep coming back because they love the food so much. So
yeah, exactly. And so again, you pay for what you get. And I think that I believe I paid for what I was getting from it. And I would do it again. I will do it again, like in the past. And my mother's going to go. I have a brother-in-law that wants to go. I have a lot of people that are already super interested in asking me for the information. So, don't let your ego and your, don't let anything hold you back from, because I think when we come across things that we are held back from, or we have resistance to, is what it's keeping us from our freedom. Like you have freedom within you, and you need to follow that path to be free.
yeah. And if not, there's going to be a little voice in your head like, I don't think you're living your best life. Like, I think you can, you know what I mean? Like, the universe will keep nudging you like, hey.
Yeah, exactly. And like going ahead and just booking it and going forward with it, I just don't think you'll regret it, in my opinion.
I agree. And then looking back, like I know we talked on how was to travel by yourself to Mexico? How did that feel for you?
It was actually fine. Like I can talk to anybody, so I made friends on the plane. One of the guys that was in the retreat with me we ended up going back we went to the airport together when we were leaving, and we got to like chat for 2 hours. It was wonderful. So yeah, it's not a big airport I went to the Puerto Vallarta airport, and it was small. It was easy to access. It was a bit crowded when I landed, but the driver found me, called me, picked me up, and it was fine. I could easily do it by myself again.
Yeah.
Not that I think too many people that I know are interested, so I don't know that I'd ever have to go by myself again. So
That's like a good problem to have. But yeah, I love Vallarta Airport. When you arrive, there's like obviously customs and things, but on the way out, there's just so many nice restaurants. It's clean. Like it's just an easy breezy airport. So,
yeah.
and it's also nice that we're not far from it too. So it's not like a big travel day. Once you get there, you're like at the center in like 40 minutes. So that's awesome.
And I liked the drive because you got to see like around the area,
Me too.
That didn't bother me.
Yeah, I love that drive as well. It's so, and you're going along the coast as well. So,
Yeah.
any last question? Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about the retreat or your experience, or any final messages to people who might be watching this?
I just feel like if you're hesitant, there's a reason why, and you need to really go with your gut. Like deep down, if you're thinking this is right for you, it's right for you. You'll be taken care of. You don't need to be worried. I was a woman flying and traveling alone, and I was nervous about it. I let you know about it, but you're like, you're fine. You're going to be good. And I was good. I was great. It was beautiful in the mornings. I got to see the sunrise over the mountains. It looked like a postcard. Just the people that you're going to meet there are going to be like, I'll never forget them. I wrote them in my journal. They give you a journal so you can kind of keep up with that. I loved that too. Yeah, I have no reservations. I think it's great. Again, I think it's the full package. Like I'm good at getting people healthy and well. I'm good at getting to the root of all your problems, like disease problems, like autoimmune issues, health issues. But to really be free, it's the mental, it's the emotional piece that we're so far from because we're also buried in our pain.
Yeah. And I think it's up to each of us in a way to free ourselves emotionally and mentally. Like there's support, but you kind of have to do it yourself because you're the one who sort of created those emotional mental knots in yourself. And so, and you're also the one with the power to untie it, So,
yeah, exactly. And I think this is a gift. I think that everyone there knew what they were doing. They were very trained. They know what they're doing. They've been there for years. So again, I just think you'll get everything you want from it and more. And then they have you to chat with and, make sure they get everything they need and all the emails and all the stuff and the support. And I think that's great too.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Well, thank you for sharing your story and for being such a bright light and for helping so many people now going forward and recommending the retreat. It just means the world to our team. And you are just, yeah, such a light bringer. So I just want to thank you again for taking this time out of your busy schedule. Kristen works with clients back to back all day, and she was so sweet to fit in this interview. So thank you. And we can't wait to welcome your mom and brother-in-law and all your friends and family in the future.
Yeah, I'm happy to send them your way. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what kind of experience they're going to have.
Absolutely. I know. We'll have them on for a follow-up interview if they want to talk to us.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'm sure they would.
That'd be awesome. Well, thank you, Kristen. Have a beautiful day.